Okay, so my name is Zach. I interned at Leaf. I'm back in school now, so I'm a CS student at UT, but I'm a Go beginner. I would classify myself as a beginner. And so what I'm doing today is I'm doing something called Go Basics. It's just like a kind of like a run through for like people who are new to Go. It's the basic idea is to give people who are new to Go, or maybe who just don't know some specific things about Go, like kind of an introduction to the syntax, an introduction to some specific things that are unique to Go. So today I'm going to talk about making asynchronous gets to GitHub. So the way I started, the reason I did this was I really wanted a 3-letter username on GitHub. And so I was like searching, and I was like, maybe somebody's already come up with like a script to do this. Then I realized it was pretty straightforward. And I did find a guy who had written something in Python that had basically done this, but it was all synchronous. It was really slow. It took like way too long to do. And I really wanted this username. So, and I did end up getting one. But today I'm going to show you just like a comparison, a side-by-side comparison of a Go script that's synchronous and tests for all the 2-letter usernames available on GitHub. And the way we test for that is we just look for, if we get a 404 back, that means that we do GitHub/the name. And if we get a 404 back, that means that it doesn't exist. So we can assume that it's either a reserved word, which there are actually quite a few, and or just it's available. So I don't know if you guys can see that all that well. It looks like it might not. It's good? Okay, so here's the synchronous code. It's pretty straightforward. So this is our main package. You can't see it on the... it's cut off a little bit. Let me see. Well, you're not missing that much. So it says package main. It's the main package, and we're importing 2 other packages, format and net/http. Now we're in the main function. So we're just going to declare URL is http github.com, and then we have a string of letters. So these are all just letters and numbers. So these are all the characters we're going to test for. And then we're going to do kind of like a for each. So this is like the Go version of like a for each. So the first would be the iterator. So we're going to drop this value that we're receiving here. We could name it like I, for example, is what most people would name it. It would represent like the index or whatever it is to the letters array. And then we're going to do a second for each, same deal. The second variable here is like the letter, the actual letter. In this case, it's actually, so in this case, it's actually a rune. I don't actually know why, but like it is represented as a rune as an individual, like M in this case is a rune. I thought it would be a character, but I guess it's not. So in the next line, we create the request string. So just the URL, and we concatenate the 2 letters that we're going to look for. Then we print just a statement saying what the username we're trying is, and then we have we do the get. So it's really straightforward. http.get in the request, and we store the response in resp, and we store the error in error. And we check the error. If it's not nil, then we print that there was an error. And if the status, then we check the response. And if the status code was a 200 http.status OK, then we print the status. So we print the username. This is slightly different than the asynchronous one. In this case, we probably actually don't want to print the status. I should have changed this, but in this case, we'll actually see if we get a 404 back or if we don't get a 404 back. And we can run this later, but now I'm going to explain the asynchronous code. So this is longer. It's also in package main. We import basically the same stuff. In our main function, what we do is we say results is going to equal the result of this, what's returned from this async HTTP gets. the rest of this is all pretty straightforward. We're just going to loop through all the results that we get.
What happens when you do have an error?
Where? In the results?
In the
ACCP.
When you do the gets and the get rid of an error.
And in the async one or the
left one?
I just keep going.
Are you sure?
I think so.
His code never fails.
If it's an error, we print. We just print that there was an error, but we keep going and we still print the. No. Okay. Well, the good news is we're actually going to do like a code review after this. So like the benefit is that we're going to review this, and so we can actually go through all the errors. Okay. So back to the beautiful code over here. We have if results is not nil, and so we're going to loop through all the results that we get. If the results are not nil and the status code is not a 200, so remember that we're looking for 404. So we're done with the 200s. We're going to print the username basically. So now this is kind of the interesting part. So this is where we do a go function or a go routine and make our git call. So it's hard to see. Let's see. So in this function, we take a string and then we return an array of HTTP responses. Those responses are up here. You can see it's the struct, just has a URL string, response of type HTTP response, an error of type error, and a request of type string. So pretty straightforward. So the first thing we do is we make our channel. Channels are pretty cool. So the way I understand them is they're like pipes. And I know that they're probably they're not really like pipes, but as far as I understand, what you put in, you can get out at the other side. So you make the channel, and it is a typed channel. So it's of type HTTP response. And then you have your array of HTTP responses, and then you create your HTTP client. And so we have all the letters we're going to loop through. This is starting to look kind of familiar. So we loop through all the letters, and we run. So then we start this go func here. So go func is a go routine for an ambiguous function, and we take two arguments, L and M. They're both runes. And so let's see if I can. So there we go. So we do the get, and then we send the response into the channel that we created. And so if you see here, so we send it into the channel, and down here we actually get it out of the channel. So we have a case statement that gets whatever went into the channel out and assigns it to R. Then we check if the error for R, which is just a response, is not nil. Then we print the error. If the response status code is a 404, then we add it to the array that we're eventually going to return and check in main. This is going to be the array of all the available usernames. So then we check. You can just ignore this line, and you can ignore those last two lines as well. So the rest of that is also all pretty straightforward. We check we check to make sure the error is nil, and that the response is not nil. You can kind of see what we do there. But the important part is kind of the go function and the channel. So what this basically does is it sends all the requests out, and then it creates an array of all the responses that were 404s, and it prints those. So does anybody have any questions about that? Hopefully that was clear exactly what that does.
Zach, what username did you get?
I got HBD as my username, like happy birthday. It was the only one that actually made sense. All of them were pretty much mumbo jumbo, but like that one actually was kind of relevant. So
you got a 3-letter username using this code. That's pretty nice.
Hey, it's
actually you're only gonna get 2 letters, right?
No, these are 2 letters. The reason it's 2 letters is because I wanted to run it, and it took too long if I wanted to do a 3-letter. And so I'll run this one. Let's see. So another Go beginner thing, and I just learned this today, was if you go build with the race flag, it'll check for race conditions. Pretty useful, especially when you're doing this. So we're going to build this, and then we're going to run it, and you can see just how quick it is. Oop, I think I'm in the wrong directory.
So when you got your three-letter username, did you just set another for loop and then wait for it to finish? Or
Did I?
use another?
No, I just used another for loop. For the 3-letter, I mean, it was no different. It was pretty much the same.
Well, congrats on your way back for doing it.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pretty exciting moment for me in my GitHub life. So, but yeah, it's running it's just sending all the gits out, and it tells you exactly the username. So that happens sometimes. That happened a couple times. Usually it works though. Usually it does work. I don't know exactly why it does that sometimes.
It's a demo effect.
It's a what?
It's a demo effect.
The Wi-Fi here is not exactly the fastest in the world.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the issue, is the Wi-Fi. And so, but yeah, now we can do a code review if you guys want to. I know it's a little bit late, but what do you guys think? Is that
That's a pretty cool little idea. I thought it was pretty clever when I heard you say why you're doing it. I was like, man, that's the type of people. That's the type of people I like to work with, right? It's like you have an idea and a problem you want to solve, or scratch one itch. I'm like, it's impressive.
Yeah, it conveniently lined up with me wanting to learn how to do Go routines. So it was just and it was pretty high return, I got a pretty awesome username if
I think if you put your for select though, you put it above where you do your iteration, then you don't have to wait for the double for loop to finish, right?
Okay, so say that again. Sorry.
I think can't you move that for select up above where you do your other double for, and then you don't have to wait for the double for to finish before the Go routines kick off, right? They'll kick off as they process.
So you're saying
Like move it up to above letters. If you move that whole loop up above letters, right?
okay.
Yeah.
So why would this be faster? Because
First go routine fires and is successful, then we'll get it immediately, rather than waiting for all of them to start trying.
Right.
I see what you're
Otherwise,
saying.
36 times 36 iterations. Right?
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And next, get rid of the for loops and make it recursive.
And make it what?
Yeah, yes. Make it recursive so you can
Oh, yeah.
specify the number of iterations.
Can I keep the case statement will still work here? If I make it recursive?
I'd actually just first, I would take my double for loops and create the list of 2-letter values that I want to do all my gets on, because that's going to take milliseconds. And then I would do my Go routines on my list of 36 times 36 entries.
Okay.
Instead of saying I'm going to come up with mine, and then as I come up with a 2-letter entry, go do a get, and then have to come back. I create that list first, and then see what's up.
I see.
You probably run out of file descriptors though.
And why would that be faster?
Well, because your version, you're going to wait every iteration to do your get. Right? First version, you're going to create a list of all of the requests you want to make. And then you're going to kick off X number of requests and do them. Right?
I see. Yeah, that makes
But like I
sense.
said, you probably want to limit that because 36 times 36 you're going to run out of
Yeah,
file descriptors. Right?
that was the biggest issue I was running into with 3 letters.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, that's right. That is the internet's a go, so you just go quick. Okay.
So yeah, it won't be that much.
Okay.
the same speed.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's definitely a lot more to improve here.
I thought it was great.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you think
this intern is impressive. I take all the credit for hiring him.
How we can steal
Wait a minute.
Aren't you, Rex?
He's an intern? You're an intern?
I was an intern, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm back in school. So.
When you graduated,
At the end of this year.
is Rex already got his closet?
Yeah.
So on the 3-letter version, you're doing like 36 cube number of requests, and you're limiting it by like just 10 milliseconds. Did they end up blocking you?
I can run it if you want. It doesn't work. So you have to limit it quite a bit. It's pretty. Yeah. I mean, you can see what happens. You can probably. It just says it runs out of Go routines. Actually, I think.
If you wanted to, you could add in a buffered channel in between there and limit the number of Go routines you're spawning.
Yeah, you know, right?
So with that, okay. So. Oh, that's not going to work. Yeah, I actually don't know if I have the other version still.
So this code is going to go up with a particular repo, and you can definitely bash that really right. In fact, you have repo.
Yeah, please make some PRs.
Headlines about GitHub getting DOS.
Yeah.
I know.
There's a part of that turned off.
Yeah. That was actually the first error I started getting was it just stopped taking my requests. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Oh, okay.